Hello creatives and welcome back. I don't know if you've realized it or not, but I am back from vacation and ready to start some amazing designs for the month of August. So welcome for those of you that are joining us for the very first time. I'd love to know where you're from, so if you can leave that down in the comments below, I would greatly appreciate it. So today we're doing a design where traditional fall meets trendy fall. So I'm not 100% all in on the trendy part. Sometimes some of the colors are a little too, I don't know, kind of out there, but this is going to be a blend, a harmony, a marriage of the two. So I hope you love this design when we finish. If you want to be notified when I go live, because sometimes we do some unexpected lives, I want to make sure that you're not missing out on those. So if you can, if you go down to the bottom of the page, make sure you're liking and also following. Now the follow button has been hidden. So if you just go from the like over to the side, you'll notice 3 little dots to the right. Click on that, it'll open up another menu option where you can actually click follow. That way, if you happen to be on your mobile device, your tablet, your laptop, you'll get a notification that we are live and you'll have the opportunity to join us. Also, YouTubers, a little bit different because you're catching these as a Facebook replay on my YouTube channel. And for Facebookers, if you don't already know, I have a YouTube channel. It's a Cats Creations Wreath. So if you're looking for any of my, I think we're like pushing close to 400 tutorials. If you want to head on over there, you'll find a plethora of creative ideas to decorate your home for any holiday. So for YouTubers, if you just click the subscribe button in the upper right hand corner, you will not miss out on any videos that get uploaded while you're on your own vacation. And let me go ahead, since we're in the group right now, I want to make sure that you guys aren't missing out. Give me just 1 second to actually pull the live up. There we go. And then let me go ahead and just put my website at the bottom. Okay, here we go. I used to love it when I had Steve helping. So he would do all the technical stuff for me, so I did not have to do this because I'm kind of like a hunt and peck right now. Okay, hold on a sec. We are not getting the dot in there. Now we've got a dot. It was a colon before. Let's hold this so this should pin. There we go. All right, so we're all set, ready to begin. I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down because, as requested by most of my YouTube subscribers and Facebook creatives, you guys have asked for an overhead view. It's a little easier for you to follow along. So I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down right now to give you the overhead view. And I always try to make sure that you can see this bottom row of measurements. So that way, because sometimes this is where I do most of my work and I kind of forget, but the camera's a little bit more focused on the top. So hi Irvina, hi Utona, I think you're a first time viewer. Hi Karen, hi Pam, and I am doing fine, Karen. So the first thing we're going to do, obviously you can tell we're doing blue and orange. Blue and orange are very complementary colors. You'll see those on a lot of sports teams, and it's kind of like the red and green palette, which means that blue and orange they work really good together. They're aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. Hi Nancy, joining us from Liverpool, Texas. So this is a Dollar Tree Wreath Frame. We're staying in the back to basics this week, so I'm going to try to give you guys not only a more detailed, slower tutorial, but answer all the whys. So the reason why I'm going with Dollar Tree tutorials, because when you are starting out in the wreath making world, price on materials is everything to you. So just going from a Dollar Tree wreath frame, from a regular like standard work frame wreath that already has the tinsel ties on it, you're already saving close to $7 on the cost. So that is going to definitely benefit you. So I've just color coordinated these. You don't have to, you could do whatever colors you decide to pick. The Dollar Tree Wreath Frame is made up of 4 rings separated by welds, which make up sections. There are 6 sections, 4 rings. We're going to start, because the other 5 have already been done for you, we're going to go ahead and wire together the 2 innermost rings. I call those 1 and 2. We're going to go ahead and do that here. Just a nice firm twist on your twist tie will keep that secured. I found that by doing 2 of the rings instead of 1 gives you greater stability so your pipe cleaners don't move. Now, I've been asked the question, how do I keep my pipe cleaners from moving? Because sometimes I'm twisting them hard enough, and they still move. So let me show you right here on this Dollar Tree Wreath Frame. You can kind of see that the weld was done, or the splice on the rings was done not on the weld mark, but kind of in the middle. So it kind of makes this last section here a little wonky. We kind of got a little bit big, and then it kind of narrows. So that's going to make some determination on how well your pipe cleaner is going to stay there. So we are just simply going to take our pipe cleaner. We're going to go ahead and wire that together. That is a really big bite, but you can still get that there. Now this will have a tendency to want to float down here because it's more wider. This is more narrower, but hopefully that won't be the case, but that's generally why it moves. So you can fix that. You can either put a dab of glue on either side to keep that from traveling, or just readjust your Deco mesh when you're laying them in and just move it where it needs to go. Now, we are doing this is called a matte finish. So while it looks foil, it looks a little bit of a sparkle. It's not the metallic, shiny sparkle. So this is a matte finish. I love this Deco mesh. For this, we're going to be doing the ruffle wreath. Why? Because it's the easiest method for anyone who wants to start learning how to make Deco mesh wreaths. Now, each of these pieces, I have 18 pipe cleaners. I have 6 on the inside, 12 on the outside. If you take your Deco mesh and you cut it into 18 pieces, 20 inches long, you will only need 1 roll of Deco mesh, which means no leftovers, which is great for people who are just starting out, because having all those leftovers takes space. You might not get around to making another blue for a whole nother year. So that extra roll that might be sitting on there, based on, using other methods, may not benefit you. And so when I started out, space was a premium. Everything mattered because we start small and eventually we get a little bit bigger. We are taking and just pretending there's an invisible line right up the center. We are going to, I put my scissors here because the Deco mesh tendency to want to curl just makes ruffling that much harder. And all we're going to do is we're going to walk your fingers. You're going to pull the Deco mesh towards you in controlled little folds so that it kind of resembles a little bit of a bow tie here. People call it the bow tie, the scrunch. This is the Ruffle Method. It's the easiest one to do. We're going to take those finished edges, and those are going to go to our inside. So closest going towards the middle. We're going to kind of put that in. We're going to give this a couple twists. And I'm going to leave this here. So we're going back to basics. And so why do you leave your pipe cleaners here? Well, unless you have done numerous designs and you kind of know where everything's going to go, it's best to leave your pipe cleaners in place so that if you need to come back in and add additional ribbon, or you want to do a little bit of an embellishment here, maybe secure some florals here, those are already in place. So we're going to do the inside 6 first, the exact same way. And all of these are cut with a wood burning tool. Now the wood burning tool for me was life-changing. It dramatically changed the way that all of my Deco mesh wreaths once they were finished were done. I hated dealing with frays. That is like the bane of my existence. You know, the little pieces that sometimes you'll find left over. And nobody wants to see that. So, and it gives it a clean look by the time it is finished. So, right now we're doing every single one of the 6. This is what I used to do when I was starting out, because it made sense. You know, I just pushed the bottom ones out of the way. This is going to start to resemble a pancake wreath. Karen, these are 20-inch pieces. So, in the pancake wreath requires you to kind of like fold these all out, give them like a doily look. But we're not doing pancake. It just looks that way from the inside 6. And I will try to plan that for you guys to show you what a pancake wreath looks like. They're more preferred by clients who have a storm door, because for them, most of their space, you know, they need something between 3 and 4 inches to fit in between their front door and that glass. It's not a screen door, but it's just a glass front door is what a storm door is. Let's see. You are welcome. Utona says I usually catch a replay on YouTube. Well, I'm glad to have you here today. So if you guys have any questions at all, now is a really great opportunity to throw those out there. So once I get all these in, I'll show you the sign that we're using on this wreath for today. And so here's our last one for the inside 6. So when I say inside 6, I'm just referring to the 6 pipe cleaners that are closest to the center of that wreath frame. And we're leaving our pipe cleaners on until we decide what is going to be the outcome with our design. So, for those of you that caught it earlier, this is a sneak peek of the sign that we're using today. This is from Pam at Personalize It By Pam on Etsy. If you like this, she has, I think, 4 different variations. She has one in yellow, one in the navy blue. You can get it with or without the welcome. You can get it with or without the border. It's entirely up to you. So if you like that, go head on over to her Etsy shop and pick that up. This is a 10-inch round. So this is the theme. This is where I pulled all of my colors from to put this together. So it's traditional, which is your orange pumpkins, white pumpkins are starting to like populate back in. We have our fall leaves and berries, and then we have the introduction of the blue pumpkin with the blue leaves and the gingham background. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull those outside pipe cleaners that I was pushing down. I'm going to pop them back through so that Deco mesh is going to sit right on top of our the inside ones. So this just makes them easier to lay. There's this one. So I just kind of push them aside. Push this one aside. Push that aside. This one aside. And that one. Now we are ready to go ahead and add the last 12. Same way, same procedure. Okay, so we're coming right on the top, and we're just going to do one full complete twist on our pipe cleaner, and then we're going to fold the edges because that's where it would have a tendency of fraying. And I'm going to take all my pipe cleaners and move them to the left so that they don't interfere with the one that I'm trying to put in here. And you'll see that it will start to thicken and darken our wreath base. And I'm all about, you know, making a good quality product, which is why I like to fill and thicken this up, make it a little fuller, because then it feels like there's value there. And that's exactly what I want. I don't want it to feel like, wow, you hardly used any product on here and you're charging, you know, X. And I totally forgot to add this to my shop, so I will be adding this wreath if you choose to purchase it. They generally sell out fairly quick. So I apologize for not getting that up there. Trying to get back into the swing of, hey, what is your normal way that you get through your day? And that would have been one of them. So again, fold over, move your pipe cleaners to the left. Make sure your next space is cleared and ready to go. I can't wait to show you the ribbons we're going to use on this design too. We've got some new ones that just came out this year, which is nice because even if you made a wreath similar to this, you can still go back and use your same color palette because the colors and the ribbons have changed to be a lot different, like burnt oranges and navy blues and foils, a lot of gold and rust colored foils. So I'm trying to just keep my curls closed. Like when I'm pulling that towards me, I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing it so that the gathered pieces have the same amount of mesh in them so that we have that same look all the way through. And I want to make sure this one, we have the inside piece kind of not covering. So I want to make sure we have good coverage right here. What would I sell it for? Nancy, I've got to go back in and actually calculate all my costs. So I couldn't tell you. And I don't know what we're going to use. Like, I don't know what I'm going to finish it with. So I don't know if we're going to incorporate some florals and some fall leaves to this, if we're going to add some pumpkins. So I generally don't know until I'm done. So we shall see. It always will depend on how much material, what the materials cost going into it are. So I have a whole bunch of options laid out just so it's easier for me to go and grab that. Sometimes that doesn't even work because sometimes I'm like, ooh, now that I think about it, I think I have something else I'd like to add. Like I just placed an order for some more trendy colored pumpkins. I have some denim pumpkins coming. I have some mint green pumpkins on the way. So this would have been good to add the denim blue pumpkin too. But we have the base. So we're starting with a blue base. So we can pop the rest of those colors, the whites and blues and oranges through the mesh. So again, pushing everything to the side, which is why I left my pipe cleaners in the center. I don't normally do that. You normally see me cut them all off. Because if we're going to add a bow and the sign at least 10 inches, I generally don't have room, But what I've been wanting to do lately is just depending on the colors and see how well they work together. Sometimes I like to lay some additional ribbon in and around the sign. So that's why we left it here today. Okay, we're coming in here. As you can see, we're filling in the base color so that we don't have that transparency that we had when it was just those 6. And that's a little hard to kind of do away with. Even if you're using the pancake method, you're still going to see some transparency through it, especially if you're using a low quality, thinner Deco mesh, which is why I will generally order most of my mesh online through someplace like craftoutlet.com or kringledesigns.us, because I know the type of quality products they carry, and so I won't be surprised even if I choose a lower cost Deco mesh. It's still going to be great for me to use. So it just depends on the design you have in your head. Okay, we're going to squeeze this little guy in. He's the last one. The last ones are always the most challenging because the space at this point becomes a premium because you've got tons of other mesh overlapping it. We've got to, move the stuff to the side. We've got to add our center. So I'm just like pushing my center back under and getting this situated, and then making sure we have that access point between our ribbon. So inside pipe cleaners are left. Outside pipe cleaners are also there. Saw a great question. Marlene says, are you putting 2 mesh in each one? No. I am putting 1 piece of mesh in every single one of the 18 pipe cleaners. So we have 6 on the inside, 12 on the outside, grand total of 18, 1 roll of Deco mesh. Okay, ribbon choices. So these are the ribbon choices for today. We are going with a burnt orange with white stripe vertical. This is from Craft Outlet, cut to 14-inch pieces, and we're doing the navy blue with the raised white stitching. This is 24-inch pieces. So we're going to be making little miniature bows on this one. And then we are using, we're doing this navy blue with the burnt orange foil leaves. This is from Craft Outlet, and then we're doing the burnt orange ribbon, which is also from Craft Outlet. So all the 2.5-inch pieces are cut to 14 inches. The 1.5-inch burnt orange is cut to 19 inches, but then the blue, the navy blue with the raised white stitching, is cut to 24. And so I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to do. So on the orange pipe cleaners, we're going to take our navy blue with the burnt orange. We fold it in half just so that we can see where's an exact middle. So you gather that. You're going to open up your pipe cleaner. We're going to place that on the inside. 1 complete twist. You're going to put your fingertips underneath the ribbon because it wants to concave. So we want to push it up and out so that it fans out. Now we're going to take our 1.5 inch. We're going to bring the dovetailed edges together and go up about 2 inches. We're going to make a half bow. It's kind of like a 3D awareness bow. So this is going to get laid right into the center. We're going to give it a couple twists. We are going to snip off the remainder. We're going to take that little tail, tuck it all the way around behind our bow. You're going to open the loop. You're going to right side one part of your so that you can see both, just like that. That is going to be how one section is going to be. The other, where we're making the full bow, this is going to be everywhere that there's a navy blue pipe cleaner. So I'm going to go right to the next one. This is why we were making sure that our pipe cleaners were ready. Same thing, one twist, pop that out, and then here, because we're doing mini bows, I'm going to go about 6 inches. I'm going to gather together. I'm going to go about 7 inches, I think. It's about a 3.5 inch loop. Do the same. We're going to come up short. Let's do 5 inches. Trying to find the perfect one. 5 inches. Yes. There we go. Perfect mini bow. So we're doing 6.5 inch tails, 5 inch loops. This creates an actual hand-tied mini bow. That's going to go right in the center. I'm going to do that 5 more times for you guys, so if you didn't see it, you'll have the opportunity to view that. Couple twists. We're going to tuck that tail behind. We're going to open up our loop. Make sure our tails are there so that we can see both as we come through. So we have solid bow and a half bow. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing all the way around. All the ribbon came from Craft Outlet that we are using here today. I don't know if these colors are still available. I start shopping for my fall stuff, and it's going to sound weird, like late winter, early spring. Because I know a lot of the retailers, for some reason, get their supplies in late. So they don't get fall in where fall is like there. They kind of get them at the end of winter. So I just pick all those up and hang on to them next year. That way I have them when it's ready to put these together. And there we go. Oh, thank you, Joyce. Joyce says, so pretty. Love the colors. Okay. Again, moving your Deco mesh pieces so you have both access to both of the two. So here's going to be the hand-tied bow. So we're going to put our tail in first. And I just chose the mini bow. Sometimes when I do 28 inch, which will give you 7 inch tail, 7 inch loop, 7 inch loop, and then 7 inch tail. Sometimes it's a tad too long. So here I'm only doing, what did I say we're doing? 6.5, I think. Then we're doing 5 inch loops. So I just hand that off. 5 inch loop, hand that off. And then I just right side everything. Make sure everything is on the right end. Just like so. Let me redo that one. It just was not working well. That's why. Okay, 6.5 inches, measure 5, put it here, twist, measure 5, hand it off, twist, and now everything is perfect. Everything is right in the world. And so I might take some of these and put these around the sign, closer to the center, which is why I left the pipe cleaners there. It's perfect to do if you're just starting off. Leave everything in place until you're happy with the design. Only then go back in, cut all your pipe cleaners off, and then just refluff all your ribbons. Thank you, Nancy. I know it seems weird to do like a royal blue with the navy and orange, but it's really honestly shades of blue. So a little bit of light and dark, just trending into a darker color palette for fall. With the navy over the royal, I think it's a little, it's more aesthetic. But I liked it for how it popped the sign. So the process for me is always the same. I follow the same pattern. I'm telling myself the same instructions I'm repeating to you in my head so that nothing really shifts, nothing changes for me. So, and you can decide what color you want to see more predominantly through the design, whether you want to see more of the orange or whether you would like to see more of the blue. It's entirely up to you. You can change really super simple just by moving, you know, what ribbon lays on top of which ribbon. So here we go again. 6.5 inches. You're going to gather, scoot it down, measure 5, put it, why does that seem way short? Put it together, give it a twist, measure another 5, put it back in the sample, a twist. This one just does not seem correct. Let's see. It is though. My tails meet. Just felt a little small. Alrighty. Again, twist that to the back. Open your loop. Open your loop. And make sure you can see both. If your Deco mesh gets in the way, like here, just move it down. Twist it down so you have access to everything you need. Now, sometimes people say, well, why don't you do double bows on all of it? You honestly would not have enough room. The space between the two on the outside as the sections meet do not allow for you to have that much space. So you can do like 1/2 bow and then either a hand-tied mini bow, or you could do a double bow there. So I try to make it to where you can see everything. You can see the mesh, you can see the ribbon, you can see all the colors, so that you're not really hiding anything, not covering it up. Right here in the center. And fan that back out. In our hand-tied bow again, I put it right here on the edge of the 10, 6.5 in, measure back to 5, hand it off, twist it, measure off another 5, connect it, then twist this, and then you're going to pull your other bow right to the front. And then pull your loops down, open up your bow, and then we're all set there. We're almost finished going around. And then, believe it or not, the bow that we're going to make today is going to be a 7-layer bow. We're going to go a little bit bigger. Okay. See how that Deco mesh tries to take in? You just sometimes have to put it back in its place. But now we're starting to eliminate our pipe cleaners, so you only are seeing the ones in the center. And I'm thinking in my head, I have an idea, but I don't know if it'll work because we don't know what it's going to look like until we get everything in. Okay, push this one here. Get that one here. See how this wants to just lay over? We want to make sure it stays behind our ribbon. Now, when I first started out, I would go all the way around my wreath and I would put all my tails in. Then I would come back and put all my other ribbon in. But that's because as I was building it, I didn't know what I was doing. So now that I, have all my colors picked out, I have everything all cut, then it just becomes a matter of assembling everything. But if I'm here by myself, I'll just kind of do it in stages. I'll go pick all my ribbons that I think I'm going to want. And then as I cut the first set, when I lay those in, those may or may not be my final choices. Okay, so here's our last foil, which I love. And sometimes you knock your other bows around. I love this new burnt orange. I have it on a 50-yard spool because I actually love these colors, especially for fall. And I know I'll use this a lot, because we always forget to use the solid colors when we're doing our designs. We're so caught up on pretty patterns and colors, we like omit those. Okay, here's the last mini half bow. Fan that back out. And we're doing 6.5. Gather, you can twist it. We'll do 5 inches, put it together, twist it, 5 inches together, twist it. Still need to bring everything front and center, and then just plop it right inside that waiting pipe cleaner. Okay, flip that around, open your tails, realign your bows. Now everything is all done to the outside. There's a lot of blue. Even when we add our sign, you're going to see there's going to be a lot of blue. So we're going to kind of maybe take that down just a notch or two. We'll add some embellishments to this, but let's go ahead and start the bow. I'm thinking the bow is going to be at the bottom of the wreath, because I don't want to cover up the pumpkins on either side. So I think I'm going to do a bottom bow. So let me show you what we're doing. Set that aside. All of our ribbon. Here's our blue. Here's our orange stripe. Here's our burnt orange. Here's our navy blue. Then I think I'm going to come in with this plaid. Then we're going to come back in with this. And then we're going to finish it off with the pumpkin ribbon. I think those are going to be my colors. So like orange, 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 orange in between all the blue. So I'm going to take these, set those to the side. We're going to start with the orange because placing that down first makes sense. So I'm going to dovetail my edges, which just means bring your wired edges together. Where our destination point is always going to be the end of our wired point. So wherever you start on that folded edge, you're going to the wired point. So that gives you that really precise dovetail edge, which looks amazing. We're going to do 10 inches on this one. We're going to gather. I'm going to grab my bow dabber, and I'm just going to simply twist, plot that right on the inside. I'm saving 5.5 inches, which means take your bow dabber, line it up so it's on the 10-inch line, so that as you pull this out, right now it's at 6, so we're going to bring it in till we're right at 5.5 inches. Do the same on the other side. The only reason I'm spinning my bow dabber is so that I can keep measuring to the left. We're like at 3/4. There we are. Back out 20 inches. Dovetail edge. Put the pin back in your ribbon so they don't unspool. And we'll set that aside. Now we're going to take our foil edge, dovetail the ends, and we're going to go 9.5 inches on this one. So we're gathering at 9.5 and twisting. And these times the loops are only going to be 5 inches. So a little lower. Little bit smaller, but we want to make sure that our measurements are precise. Even if you want to change your measurement when you're laying it out and you're like, oh, I kind of like how that looks, I want it to be a little bigger, then whatever you do to one side, just make sure you're doing it to the opposite so that it's even. That's how you get a really good bow. Did you know that both sides of your loops, both sides of your tails are exactly the same measurement? Just like that. Orange color. And like I told you, I'm doing the 50-yard spool. Dovetail that end. This is going to be 9 inches. We're going to twist. Now we're going to do 4.5 inch loops. So back to the 10. Stretch it out. Make sure you've got 4.5 inches on one side so that when you do it on the opposite side, you're 4.5 inches. Back out to 9 inches for the tail. Dovetail your end and put your ribbon away. Okay, next one is going to be our raised white stitching. Dovetail the end. And we are going half-inch loop. Because we've already done it in the burnt orange, you can just kind of put your finger in one hole and the other loop and give it a pull. So they're exactly the same. Pull that back through. Back on the 10 so we can measure out 8.5 inches. Dovetail your ends. And put our ribbon back. See? Good healthy habits to get into the habit with. Oh, thank you, Carol. She said, I love the blue. And Gloria says, very pretty. Thank you, ladies. Now we're going to go with this orange, green, and blue plaid. This is also from Craft Outlet. So I always like to get rid of that funky end. We'll still dovetail the end. And this time it's going to be 8 inches. I try to keep my plaid, like the lines line up. We're doing a 4-inch loop. So bring it back to your 10, stretch it out. Make sure both are the same. And then back out to 8 inches. Dovetail that end. We're going to need a pin for this one. So I put straight pins with the little ball ends on my ribbons so that they don't get lost and that it keeps your ribbon looking good. I used to do rubber bands, and then it never dawned on me that it's going to pucker your ribbon. But you can take care of your ribbon if it's got a horrible crease in it. Just take an iron to it, put a piece of parchment paper on it, and iron your wrinkle out. Now I'm going to take this navy blue with the white. This is going horizontally, so it'll make a nice different look. And we're going 7.5 inches for this. And we're going to do the same. We're doing a 4-inch loop, so it's the same as our plaid. Same cheat applies. So you don't have to like measure. You can just, we've done it once. But you do need to measure your end at 7.5 inches. Dovetail your end. This ribbon is also available from Craft Outlet. I think it's pretty much year-round, the Craft Outlet. My one pin is a bit bent because this is a very thick canvas ribbon. Sometimes it's just put it on the edge. We can get rid of that. And our last one is this pumpkin ribbon. This is from Michaels. Michaels has this available this year. If you have this ribbon, I highly recommend you pick up quite a few. It is a full 30 feet, and that's not... now with the ribbon manufacturers, a lot of times they're taking it down to 18 feet or 25 feet. So these ones still have a... whatchamacallit, 30 feet full ribbon roll. So we're doing these at 7 inches. Now that our pattern is horizontal, it's super simple to remedy that. So we're going to pick it up. We're going to twist it. I'm going to go ahead and place this in here so you can see that the minute I go to make my next loop, which is going to be 3.5 inches. Let me get that situated. And then we're going to do another 3.5. Let me just get the measurements in here. And then back out to 7. And I'm going to show you how we're going to correct that. So we have, let me go ahead and put the dovetail in here so you can see. Build it first. That would be the easiest thing to do. Anytime. Okay. I love this ribbon too. It's still the old-fashioned canvas. So right now, the way I'm looking at it, just like you, the pumpkins are right, the pumpkins are right, the pumpkins are right, but here they're upside down. Super simple method. Just twist it. And now all of your pumpkins are going in the same direction. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this entire stack. It's going to be very thick. We're going to hold it together. Hold it firmly at the bottom and then twist your stack. It's so much easier on your hands that way, and you get a good tight twist on your ribbons. You can choose to do it with a zip tie if you'd prefer. It's just a little harder to hold together until you get your zip tie on. And then don't forget, you always have to put your pipe cleaner in so you have a way to attach your bow, and then you'll still need to cover up your zip tie. But we're going to go ahead and fluff this. Because this is a bottom bow, we're going to fluff it a little differently. So, I'm going to get this in. This is 24 inches by 24 inches by 1 inch thick. It is a piece of pre-cut lumber with an 1.5 to 2 inch C-hook that just screws into the center. This allows me to just hook my ribbon on with the pipe cleaner, which is why it's so easy. And because we're doing a bottom bow, we want to bring our tails down. So all the tails of all your ribbons need to come down. There we go. There we go. And then on the other side, here, 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 and here. So there's all of our tails. Here's all of our loops. We're going to start at the bottom. And I'm going to pull one loop up, one loop down. So I'm going to go with the foil here. And on the other side, we're going to do it opposite. So we're going to bring up the orange and bring our foil to the bottom. As we pull this one up, I'm going opposite. I'm going to pull the navy blue up. And our burnt orange is going to stay there. However, here, we're doing the opposite. We'll bring the burnt orange up, navy down. Here, we're going to go plaid up. Here, we're doing plaid down. Okay, and then we have this one left. So we're just going to put that right in the center. And now we're just going to fluff and move ribbons around to where it gives you the desired look that you're trying to achieve. So that you can see everything that you put in it. Okay, I'm going to flip this around so you can see it. Okay, just like that. You're going to still be able to put your curls back into your ribbon. Just go through all of them and run them through your fingers. That's all I'm doing. It's a little harder to see the bottom ones. And then again, same thing at the top. Just pull, colors around in the order that you want to see that. Just like that. And there you have a beautiful bow for fall. Just like that. We're going to pop that off the same way that I put that on. We're going to go ahead and attach our sign. So that we can kind of see where everything else is going to pop. So, first thing we need to do with our sign is we need to attach our business card to here. I don't see the ones that I had. Let me just grab one of those. Okay. We're going to just glue that to the back so that our clients know you may have purchased a sign from Pam, but the wreath was designed by us. So right down over the top. If you have stickers, you can go ahead and attach the stickers right over the top. Then we're going to, trying to find them and move them. Where did you go? I had my metal hole punch pliers and I took them down. They're there. We're going to go ahead and punch holes in our sign. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this here. One right there. And one right here. Okay, these are Beadsmith 1.5 millimeter metal hole punch pliers. You can also find these at Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. They're going to be in the jewelry section because they are made to punch holes in metal for jewelry making. And then I'm just going to cut off some 22 gauge floral wire. You can use a pipe cleaner. If you watched the video from Tuesday, we did pipe cleaners through the holes. But here I'm using the 22 gauge. And I'm going to go right through my hole. I'm going to make sure that I have enough wire that it's even. And then I'm going to twist right over my hole. And then that way it creates a small little base that'll allow my sign to lay flat and not be like a spinner that flips out on the sides. So again, right over the hole, just start your twists and then just keep twisting until you've got everything in place. So now I'm going to put that right about there. I am going to, right where I have two of my pipe cleaners, I'm going to go ahead and remove those two so that that's where I'm going to occupy my space. So now I just need to make sure that it is on each side of my wired frame. So I'm going to pull back some of my mesh. Make sure I've got an even gathering on both sides. So right about there is where I want it to sit. So I don't want to twist too much in case I have to reorganize my sign. Here's my other pipe cleaner. It's right here on this side. I'm going to go ahead and remove this one so that we wind up in the center. Again, over one side. And then down the opposite. Pull back some of your Deco mesh. Nice and snug. Okay. So I'm not going to worry about the pipe cleaners you see. We're going to go ahead and take this down here, all these. So I am going to remove my bottom two pipe cleaners because our bow is going to go here. Put that down. Should have another one right here. Tuck that under. So we still have the two at the top, but we're going to take this Deco mesh here because I don't want my bow to float on top of the Deco mesh that's here. It would sit way up here. So I'm going to make sure that all my Deco mesh on the bottom is tucked under so it does not elevate my loops to go higher than I want them to be. I want them to sit a little closer to the bottom of my sign. So this is what I call a bow home. It's making a preparation for my bow. So I'll make sure those are out of the way. Now I'm trying to make sure I know where my pipe cleaner is. I want my bow to lay right here so that we can still see the welcome. So I'm going to work. This is where it's kind of challenging with pipe cleaners, is we're going to work that all the way down to the bottom. Now I'm going to push my loop. I'm going to hold and push this down so it's at the depth I want it to be without collapsing. So see how now I have cleared out space for my bow, and so now I can see all my colors, all my loops. And we can still bring these down. Okay, so this is what we have so far, just like that. Now I know that this is still an awful lot of blue, so we're going to go through and cut that down. So, and I might even add some additional pipe cleaners to this. I'm going to go ahead and open up the bows I've kind of smashed right here and here to add a little bit of an embellishment. So, what color do I want to do? I'm trying to think. I want to cut the blue down. So, let's try something a little bit different. I'm going to take my blue. I'm going to cut this at 19 inches. I'm also going to do the same with the burnt orange because I like those two colors together. 19 inches. We're going to do what's called a double bow. So we're going to dovetail the edges just like so. There's my dovetail end. I'm going to do the same here. Dovetail the end. And I'm going to make two half bows, right? And we have the blue. And we have the burnt orange. I'm going to gather those two together, 2 inches each. And then I'm going to do a crisscross. So I'm going to put one up here on this side. Take this one out. Tuck that back down. I'm going to pull these apart. Get a right side one of these. Same thing, right side one of these. We might end up cutting these down so they're not quite so long. This is called a double bow. So I am going to trim these up. Always trying to make sure they go the same way that I'm used to. There's that. I always want to make sure I get my fingers out of the way of those scissors because they are super sharp. So I'm going to probably make my bows about, we'll try 17. Although I think I'm really only taking about 2 inches off. So you have your option. You could go back through and add a bunch of like mini bows. I haven't decided if I want to leave those this way or if I want to spin them around. If I spin them around, they're going to go over my sign. So let me make another one. Let's do these ones I'm going to do them at 17 and a half. So there's one. Here's two. We'll dovetail the ends. There's one side. The other side. Again, half and a half. And we're going to flip these ones around. We're going to put the orange on one side and the blue on the opposite. We're going to grab, trying to go ahead and pull this up, tuck that in, and I think the length on that one was perfect. So these ones are called double bows because while they each have their own loop, they do have double the ribbon tails. So let's see how those fare. Looking at how those look, and I kind of like that, so I think I want to add two more to the sides. So let me look and see it how you're seeing it. Do I like it like that? Or I don't think I want to see it. Let me pull them. Let's spin this one around and look. I think it's just going to cover too much of our sign if we have them spin around. See? Then our sign gets impeded. So I'm going to flip those back the way they were. Just like so. So I'm going to make two more. $17.50 is what we said. We'll dovetail the end. So on this one, if you left your side pipe cleaners, you would already have those in place. I cut mine off. So I'm going to go in and add a pipe cleaner here and a pipe cleaner down below. So we need two royal blue. So I'm going to go back down to my frame and then back up. Which is right around my existing pipe cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and twist that down so I have it down to my frame, but ready for my next ribbon. We're going to go ahead and get this one set. This one set. We're flipping them. So again, back around. Let's see, do we want to do these this way? I think we're still going to keep the pattern all the same. So we have these cute little double bows going around our sign. We'll get the other side done. There we go. Sometimes you just got to go in and give them a little bit of a love. So we get those tails curling around. Okay, last two. All set. Trying to get all the ribbon scraps away. So we've got to get this last pipe cleaner in. Want to make sure that I've got it on opposite sides of the frame so it just doesn't pull up out of nowhere. And then of course we'll refluff anything that we have kind of destroyed in the process. There's that one. We need to flip-flop these. Cut that off. Twist that behind. Get your ribbons situated. There's that one. A lot of small space. It's always challenging to get the bottom one to fan the way we would like. Okay, let me look. Let's fluff up all the other bows. We've had an opportunity to flip in the process, going all the way around. So this way we can see everything that we've done. Trying to get my last little bow right there all situated. So here's what it looks like for you guys on that side. We have everything all put together. You can still see everything that's in there. Let's see if we want to add it. Let's just see what would happen if we kind of come in here. I'm just doing this. We added a pumpkin here. We added another one to the other side. I'm waiting. Let's see what I like. I'm flipping it so I can see it the same way you guys are seeing it. Like we'll pull this one out a little bit. What do you guys think? Pumpkins or no pumpkins? Not sure. I'm waiting for you guys to tell me. No pumpkins? Okay. Teresa says no pumpkins. Glenda says yes pumpkins. Victoria says no pumpkins. No pumpkins. Okay, so I guess we'll opt for the no pumpkin look. So let me flip you guys up and we'll put it on the door, and we can still make judgment calls on the door too. Let me get rid of all this. Okay, let me pull this one down. And we will look at the no pumpkin look. So, and I'm gonna just fluff my bows, fluff my tails, and make sure that I can see all these. Because that is some gorgeous ribbon. We don't want to leave that behind. But that is the look that we have achieved. Okay. Trying to get this little one, there it goes, to lay in the right order. There we go. There's the wreath. I'm going to zoom in on that so you guys can see that. And I'm going to kind of deck away. It's always hard to figure that out. Aw, thanks, Teresa. She said, beautiful, love it. You do a beautiful job. There are so many different things that, like I said, you can do. You can come in and you can add scatters and fillers. If you wanted to come in and tuck in some pumpkins, you could definitely do that. But then at some point, it starts to feel like you put too much stuff in it. So that's what I have. So this whole month we're working on Halloween, fall, and Christmas. We're going to be doing a lot of vintage, a lot of retro. So you guys know I love that look. So make sure that you're following me. If you'd like to join my private group, it's only going to be open for a couple more weeks. I have a big surprise coming. So make sure you're on my email list. That's where the announcement's going to go out first, and then I'll come back and post it on all the other pages for you. So can't wait to share that with you. I hope you guys come back at that point. The link to purchase this, to visit my website, to get a ton of free stuff is pinned to the bottom to join the private group. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will talk to you next week with new designs. Bye for now, everyone.